And we're back to learning JavaScript using Exercism. This time I'm going to walk you through the space age exercise right here. We've got a couple of planets and we use the age in seconds on Earth and then use this orbital period to determine what age there will be on a different planet. Let me just dive right in and I'll explain it step by step. We can go over one of these tests to show you the code in detail. But first let me create the basic outline that we need. We need an object right here for the planets and the orbital period. Let me just call that orbital period or something like this. It doesn't really matter what name you use. But it's important that you use these curly brackets. And now we'll use all of these planets, use quotation marks, for example Mercury as the first one, and then add the specific number to each. And then separate them with a comma. Well, let me actually use Earth as the first one, as Earth is 1.0. So Earth is basically our baseline. And I want to use for all a lower cap way of writing it. So let me fix that right here. And now it's about going through all of them. Neptune should be the last one. The next step is to use this number right here. So this gives us how many seconds there are in a year. And we want to store that in another constant variable. I write it in all caps. Earth, year in seconds. And I use these underscores in between. And then I copy paste this number. And just to explain it, this number is 365.25 days per year times 24 hours per day times 60 minutes per hour times 60 seconds per minute. So these are the seconds that we have in every year, at least on Earth. And now we can go over these tests to see what kind of code we need. You can see right here for the first test we've got the Earth and the seconds. So we'll use two parameters. Therefore, we can already type that in right here. You can name that whatever you want. I'll make that planet and seconds. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Let me get rid of these brackets right here. We don't really need them. And now I'll go over this test 1 where we use the Earth as an example to explain the entire code. So we use the seconds, which is the parameter that's given by the test, and then divide it by Earth here in seconds. So this is going to take this long number right here in the first example and divide it with the one that we've stored in our variable right here. And if I just run the test, we can see that in test 1 what that does. So for the given values, Earth and this longer number, we are expected to get 31.69 years, and we've almost got it. It's 31.68 and a couple of digits that we don't really need. So this is pretty close to what we want. You can see it's rounded. So we can use the inbuilt math.round to do that. Let me just add it. Math.round, and I use the parentheses for the rest. And I'll run it again. And you can see that's pretty close. We now have 32. So we want to find a way to round it to 2 digits after the point. Let me first get rid of the math.round, and I just add times 100. And if I run it again, we now have 4 digits before the point. And if we now round it, we're almost there. So we've got the numbers. Now we just have to find a way to add our points after 31. And we do that by dividing it by 100 after we've done the math.round. And this gives us what we want. So this test 2, let me go back to test 1 up here. So we've solved that. It's exactly 31.69. So we're good here. But for now we haven't really looked at the planet. We've just used Earth. And for Mercury, Venus, it doesn't work. So we have to find a way to use our orbital period. Or we can just do that right here by dividing our seconds before we rounded them. And we'll divide them by orbital period. And then use planet. So it's an object, and we use a specific planet to find the related orbital period. So I use our second parameter right here. And if I run it now, we've passed all of the tests. And this is how you can solve this space age exercise on Exercism. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.